If you could go back to that PhD student before you're jumping into industry, before you've helped the Obama office, before you've helped Cisco truly transform, before you've now engaged with hundreds of thousands of partners across the world with AWS, what would you tell, what lessons have you learned now that you would tell that Ruba just after receiving her PhD?
Number one is actually don't try to do it alone. One thing about a PhD is so much has to be your own individual contribution. And you get in a mindset of, I've got to do it by myself. Although I was part of a lab where people worked with each other, it had to be really clear what your individual contribution was. And shifting into the business world, things move really fast. And you've got to build on previous successes and make sure that you are collaborating with others. Large transformation, big changes do not happen alone. You've got to work with others and be willing to ask for help. I learned that lesson pretty quickly at BCG, where I tried to figure something out all on my own. And after spending several nights in the office, I asked a colleague, hey, how do you do this? And they showed me how to do something that would have saved me probably 72 hours of work. They showed it to me in about 20 minutes. Number two is really work on communication skills. That is the differentiator. I learned that people need to hear something 9 times to truly internalize it. And that could be 9 times written, spoken, visually presented, but finding ways to communicate with clarity is really important, because I think often we can be in meetings and we can say the same words. I often say the English language isn't nuanced enough. We say the same words and people are nodding, but do we really mean the same thing? Are we really processing them in the same way? So learning how to communicate very clearly is important. And I would say I spent 15 years of my career communicating through PowerPoint or speeches. And coming to Amazon, it's a lot more written communication. We use a doc writing culture. And so I've had to kind of go back and relearn how to write, but it's so important. And you learn when I'm writing something, the word choices are so important and so critical to make sure everyone is aligned, especially in large organizations. You want to make sure that when we leave a meeting and you've got cross-functional teammates all executing something, we're all actually executing on the same goal and the same end state. So 2 tips I would say, or 2 learnings for my graduate school self: don't be afraid to ask for help, and definitely work on communicating and constantly honing that skill.